Hello everyone, welcome back to Jikook Moments. Have you ever felt that the simplest moments are actually the hardest to forget? Not the grand stages, not the dazzling spotlights, but the small fragments that feel so real. Recently, a post-practice video from Tampa caught fans' attention once again, not because of drama, but precisely because of its quietness. And strangely, from that silence, a much bigger story began to emerge. In the video, we don't see BTS as performers on stage. There's no choreography, no loud music, no cheering crowd. What we see instead is a vehicle slowly leaving the practice venue after a long day. A simple transition, yet it feels deeply human. This moment seems to reveal a side we rarely get to see, that behind every big performance, there is always a long, quiet process filled with dedication. And that's exactly where its strength lies. Moments like this often become a small window for fans to glimpse the reality behind the scenes. It's not about the final result, but the journey toward it. There's exhaustion, focus, and repetitive routines, things that rarely get highlighted, yet form the very foundation of everything. Interestingly, this chain of moments doesn't stop at just one video. A fan who had just arrived in Tampa shared their experience on a flight to the city. On board, the crew gave a special message to passengers who were coming to attend a BTS concert. A simple gesture, yet warm and personal. Small things like this show that BTS's presence is felt not only by fans, but also by people around them, even the flight crew. The atmosphere became even more noticeable at the airport. Many staff members were seen wearing purple accents, ties, ribbons, or small details. The color purple, long associated with the bond between BTS and their fans, appeared without needing any explanation. It quietly unified the mood. No words, no grand declarations, yet undeniably powerful. At this point, what makes everything feel special isn't just that BTS is there, but how the environment around them comes alive. From flight crews to airport staff, to fans from different countries, everyone becomes connected in one shared experience. This is no longer just a concert trip, but a phenomenon involving many people in unexpected ways. However, as often happens, amidst the warmth of these moments, one small detail quickly became the center of attention: the feather necklace worn by Jungkook. What initially seemed like just an accessory gradually turned into an intense topic of discussion. Some fans began observing, comparing, and trying to connect it to various possibilities. From there, speculation started to grow, ranging from reasonable ideas to ones far removed from the original context. Some tried linking it to certain relationship narratives, seeing it as a possible personal symbol or even a couple item. On the other hand, Taekookers built their own interpretations, connecting the necklace to Taehyung and viewing it as something meaningful between the two. But if we pause for a moment and look at it more critically, this pattern is actually nothing new in fandom culture. An eye-catching object often becomes a blank canvas, filled with meaning by fans. Real observations mix with interpretations, eventually developing into increasingly complex theories. In reality, if we trace it back to the starting point, there may be a much simpler and more logical explanation. There are strong indications that the necklace comes from Goros, a Japanese jewelry brand known for its deep philosophy. The brand was founded by an artist who saw jewelry not merely as accessories, but as representations of identity and one's life journey. In Goros' philosophy, each piece carries personal meaning. A feather necklace, for example, is often associated with growth, freedom, honor, and life's journey. This means that if someone wears it, it most likely reflects something about themselves, not their relationship with someone else. What makes it even more interesting is that acquiring jewelry from this brand isn't typical. Customers don't fully choose their items. Instead, the staff selects pieces they feel best match the individual's character and energy. This makes each piece feel deeply personal, rather than something mass-produced without meaning. When viewed from this perspective, the couple necklace narrative begins to lose its relevance. Because within this philosophy, each item is meant for the individual, not to be shared identically with someone else. Its meaning is personal, not collective. Additionally, claims that only a small group of fans notice this detail should be considered realistically. Airports are public spaces with high exposure. Cameras are everywhere, and documentation comes from multiple angles. If an item stands out, it will almost certainly be seen by many people. So the idea of exclusivity often reflects fandom dynamics more than actual reality. In the end, what truly exists is simply a necklace, with a unique design and a rich philosophical background. The rest is layers of interpretation built by different groups of fans, including Taekookers, each with their own perspectives. And when all that noise is set aside, the real appeal becomes clearer. This isn't about theories or speculation, but about how an object can represent someone's personal identity. As a closing note, there's another update that caught just as much attention, a video showing Jimin and Jungkook singing the song Aliens to each other. This moment feels simple, almost like a spontaneous interaction. Yet that's exactly where its strength lies. There are no exaggerated gestures, no attempt to be dramatic, just two people enjoying a moment together. The way they look at each other, sing, and smile creates a warm and natural atmosphere. The camera being directed at them also raises a question. Could this be part of a larger documentation? If such a short clip alone has already sparked so much discussion, it's not impossible that a full version would attract even greater attention. Throughout their journey, the dynamic between Jimin and Jungkook has often been in the spotlight. Not only because of their consistently visible closeness, but also because their interactions feel genuine. That closeness can be interpreted in many ways, and that's where the complexity lies. Some see it as something very deep, even describing it as mutual obsession. But on the other hand, it can also be understood as the result of a long journey they've shared. Years in the same environment, facing the same challenges, and growing together naturally create a strong bond. Whatever the interpretation, one thing is certain: small moments like these always carry their own power. Because often, it is from these simple fragments that bigger stories begin to take shape, slowly, yet leaving a lasting impression. In the end, it all comes down to one thing: how we choose to interpret a moment. It might just be a short video, a simple accessory, or a brief interaction. But behind all of it, there is always room to see something deeper, about journeys, identity, and relationships formed over time. And maybe, that's exactly where the beauty lies. Because sometimes, the greatest stories don't come from what is most visible, but from the small things we choose to notice. So, what do you think? Is this truly just an ordinary moment, or is there something more beneath the surface? Share your thoughts in the comments, and see you in the next Jikook Moments video.